gang member reaches back to help others, Pasadena history revealed through wedding dresses, and Pasadena Media's Keri Stockstad joins us live in studio to talk about the changes at this station. All that plus weather on CCN Crown City News. Your news, your neighborhood, seconds away.
Do you have a great business idea? The Pasadena Enterprise Zone can help. Pasadena Enterprise Zone, open for business.
Hi, I'm Jesse Avila at the Convalescent Aid Society, a nonprofit organization established in 1923. We provide the free loan of durable medical equipment, of hospital beds, wheelchairs, walkers, canes, and many other items. Your donations and contributions are welcome and greatly appreciated. We are located at 3255 East Foothill Boulevard in Pasadena.
We're here to help you!
Please give us a call and check for availability at 626-793-1696.
Hi everyone, thank you for watching CCN Crown City News. Your news, your neighborhood. I'm Sunita Joshua Madison. First, we would like to pay our respects to the athletes and residents in Boston after today's horrific explosion at the Boston Marathon that appears to be a terrorist attack. Los Angeles has increased security due to the attack. Now for our first story. For close to 30 years, Stephen Trejo was a member of a gang in Northwest Pasadena and did time in some of the more notorious prisons in California. His path towards redemption led him to devote his efforts to reach out and help rehabilitate at-risk youth in his neighborhood. CCN's Paulo Alejandria has the story.
In the gang world, if you make the negative a positive, it's going to take a lot of courage to do it. A lot of courage. It takes just as much courage to care about yourself and value your freedom.
Stephen Trejo is a man who has seen things most couldn't imagine. Trejo was a member of a major Northside gang in Northwest Pasadena and was incarcerated for much of his adult life. Trejo says it was an epiphany he experienced while in prison that forced him to reconsider the life he chose.
I was in Soledad, and I had a dream that I was standing on the stage of my school at John Muir in Pasadena, talking to the kids about life skills and stuff like that. And I woke up in the morning, I was like, what was that about?
That dream eventually motivated Trejo to focus his efforts to reach out to former and current gang members, especially in the area of Northwest Pasadena. As a peacekeeper for Ambassadors for Peace, a local community advocacy organization, Trejo says people involved in gangs feel a sense of disconnect from general society. He says the reasons for this vary from an unstable home life, lack of education, and issues surrounding race in their community.
They go into their own little closed-up world, and it becomes a battle within themselves about me, who am I, and they're trying to express that in all these different ways of using violence to validate who they are.
Trejo says his personal ties to Northwest Pasadena are the reasons for his interest in helping gang members and at-risk youth in this area. He has developed a curriculum which he intends to identify triggers that provoke violent behavior and recondition them. Trejo believes this is the most effective way to rehabilitate current and former gang members in a part of town whose problems he feels, for the most part, are glossed over.
Everybody's trying to say, well, we don't want to call it the northwest part of Pasadena. It's just Pasadena. No, that's where it's at. It's the northwest part. And if you want to address the problem, that's where you take the cure to. This northwest part of Pasadena is right here. This is where the problem is.
The dream Stephen Trejo had about speaking to students at John Muir High School became reality in April 2011 after a large fight on campus gained media attention due to speculative reports regarding racial tensions between Black and Latino students. Trejo says sharing his experience and advocating for peace at the school he was expelled from was a funny twist of fate, but also very rewarding. Now here's a look at the stories you may have missed this past week right here in the San Gabriel Valley. The Pasadena Unified School District voluntarily shut down Jackson Elementary School today at about 12:30 p.m. and issued a shelter-in-place notice due to police activity in the neighborhood. In a statement, the PUSD said students were never in danger, and once the district lifted the notice, after-school programs resumed as normal. According to Lieutenant Delgado with the Pasadena Police Department, there was still an active containment of the area even after the ban was lifted in search of possibly 3 males involved in a residential burglary. Police didn't provide any additional information during the active pursuit. A warning, this story is graphic, so you may want to turn away. Pasadena Fire Captain and paramedic Art Hurtado was called a hero after he rescued a man who sawed off his arms last Wednesday at a West Covina Home Depot. The unidentified man cut off his own arms with a saw, but the reason why is still unknown. Onlookers on the horrific incident of Home Depot personnel watched in disbelief as they rushed to get help for the mutilated man. Off-duty Fire Captain Art Hurtado jumped in to help after he told the Home Depot management he was a trained paramedic. Hurtado used rope and towels from the shelves to make a tourniquet for one arm. The unidentified man cut through nerves, tendons, and arteries to the bone above both elbows, according to the West Covina Police Public Information Officer Rudy Lopez. The surgeons who conducted the operation on the injured man hope to save both of his arms, though the patient's condition is still critical. Stephen Holmes, Senior Manager of Corporate Communications for the Home Depot, says he's very grateful about how Fire Captain Hurtado handled the situation and owes him a lot of gratitude. Here's a clip of Captain Hurtado speaking at a news conference last week.
And because of my training as a firefighter and as a paramedic, it's my duty to always act. Whether I'm at work or whether I'm at home, I'm always out on duty, just like any other brother or sister firefighter.
Okay, looks like we had a little bit of trouble with that clip, but that was from Michelle Maglianco and KPAS for that footage. Well, tomorrow, Pasadena voters will go to the polls and decide who will fill the final seat on the school board. Last month, District 3 candidates Ruben Hueso, a PUSD teacher thought to be the favorite, fell just short of the 50% plus one needed to be elected. The forced runoff with the next closest vote getter, Tyrone Hampton, a PUSD graduate and a small business owner. This election fight has been tough, with accusations flying between the candidates and a major union pulling its earlier endorsement of Hueso. If you want to know your polling place, you can visit the city clerk's website at ci.pasadena.ca.us/cityclerk and click on election information. I'll co-anchor live coverage on KPAS with Barry Gordon starting at 8 p.m. tomorrow evening, so you can find out results as they come in. And Kim Kenney's March 5th election win in a newly created Subdistrict 5 opened a school board seat for the current seat she will give up. The school board is expected to appoint a new member by early June instead of holding elections. The spot is open to any registered voter in Pasadena, Altadena, Sierra Madre, and portions of unincorporated Los Angeles. The new board member would take office in early July and would serve until May of 2015. The deadline to apply for this position is May 10th of 2013. Interested candidates are encouraged to apply at pusd.com. Well, it's here. Today is tax day with a midnight deadline to get your returns in. Americans complain about taxes every April 15th, but one group rallied over this weekend for tax increases. Organizers of Occupy Democracy Pasadena, along with the Sustainable World Ministry and some San Gabriel Valley residents, rallied together last Saturday to raise awareness about the so-called Robin Hood tax on those they claim aren't paying their fair share. Members of the group gathered for their annual Robin Hood Fair Share Tax Day rally at the corner of Colorado Boulevard and Lake Avenue. The group wants Washington to impose a tax of 0.5% on all Wall Street trades of stocks. The group says the tax would raise up to $350 billion every year to provide funding for more jobs. For more information on this tax proposal, go to robinhoodtax.com. Thanks to our very own Stevie Carroll. We did have some pictures for those, but you can find more of those on our website and Facebook page. Well, wedding season is just around the corner. We'll take you to a museum where they celebrate couples history-making day. And are those storm clouds on the horizon? CCN's meteorologist Curtis Peek has your complete forecast. Next, we'll be right back on CCN, your news, your neighborhood.
This CCN Green Minute is brought to you by Southern California Edison.
Hi, I'm Luna with CCN, and I'm here with Janetta Harris to give us some tips on how customers can save energy and money.
Great. Thank you, Luna. First, I'd like to offer to our customers, if you're in the market for purchasing new appliances, please take a look at the Energy Star emblem that may be on them. You'll see two numbers on them. One number obviously is the purchase price of the appliance. The other number reflects how much energy they will actually save in a year. So make sure we look for those. We not only have them on appliances, but also electronic devices.
And what kind of electronic devices, besides the refrigerators and the kitchen appliances, can customers look for?
We all like computers, right? We all want those laptops. We need printers to get information out. So again, the Energy Star logo will be on those appliances or those electronic devices as well. We have a host of information, a lot of electronic and energy efficiency tips on sce.com/tips, or they can call into our call center at 800-736-4777.
Thanks so much. I'm sure everyone appreciates those ways that they can save money and energy. This has been your Southern California Edison Green Minute.
This CCN Green Minute is brought to you by Southern California Edison.
Welcome back. Wedding season is just around the corner and brides are busy picking the perfect dress for the big day. Every wedding dress tells a story and a new exhibit shares the history of Pasadena through wedding dresses. Here's the story from our newest producer turned reporter, Robert Moran.
I am here today at the Pasadena Museum of History to speak with two of the curators from the I Do exhibit, The History of Weddings in Pasadena from 1850 to 1950. The stories of changing culture and society woven into the fabric of lace, silk, and taffeta highlight a unique part of Pasadena's history through an exhibit displaying wedding gowns and the stories of some of the women who wore them. The gowns include the one Susie Markham, the niece of former California Governor Henry Markham, wore on her wedding day in 1901. Suzanne Ehrman, one of the curators of the exhibit, says that dress is her favorite.
The reason it's my favorite, it just has everything in the world going on. It has lace, and it has netting, and it has pearls, and it has several kinds of lace, and it's truly a work of art.
Cheryl Peters, co-curator of the exhibit, who has a background in historical clothing, scoured through archives to find distinct dresses that reflect their time periods. The gowns at the exhibit range from very simple, like those from 1850, to the more extravagant Christian Dior gowns of the 1950s.
There's the whole women's history aspect of it as well. I mean, the lady who got married in 1850, for example, she was expected to be the mistress of a staff, the mother of a large family. She was not out working in the world, as opposed to the ladies in the 1920s with their little flapper dresses and no longer with the corsetry and just life being so much more free.
Once they found the dresses for the exhibit, volunteers realized they couldn't just hang them on mannequins because the fabric would crumble. Facings were placed on some of the dresses, and all of the pleats were reinforced to stabilize the structure. After spending so much time with these dresses, the curators felt a real connection with the gowns.
So now they really have personalities.
We talk to them.
This first part of the Pasadena Ties the Knot exhibit ends July 14th. The Pasadena Museum and Exhibits is free to Pasadena residents every Wednesday and is open from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. every Wednesday through Sunday. In Pasadena, Robert Moran, CCN.
The exhibit, 2 years in the making, doesn't just feature dresses. Elaborate gifts, including tableware and china used at the home of Adolphus Busch of the Anheuser-Busch family, are also on display. Busch, along with his wife, lived in Pasadena on Orange Grove Boulevard. You can see more pictures on our website, crowncitynews.com. Well, after gorgeous warm weather, it got cold and wet fast. CCN meteorologist Curtis Peek is here to tell us what we have in store for this week. Curtis, do we have more storm clouds in the way?
Well, as quick as it got cold, it's going to warm up also. By midweek, little Thursday, little after midweek, we are going to see above normal temperatures. Right now, we are seeing below normal temperatures because that marine layer has stuck around, and in the foothills and in the mountains, we are seeing a little of that orographic lifting. That orographic lifting is just the clouds trying to go over the mountains. In order for them to do that, they must release all their precipitation, and that's why we are seeing that drizzle in the foothills. Right now, we did see 62 degrees outside today. As you can see, we are well below normal. Our low tonight is going to be 51 degrees, 1 degree above our normal right now. But as I said, we do have an onshore flow, which is bringing us that marine layer. But as I said a second ago, below normal temperatures, we are going to see a very cool Tuesday, as we saw a cool Monday. It's going to be a little cooler tomorrow. But as the weekend does approach us on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, next Monday, we are going to see above normal temperatures. As we take a look outside right now, we do see temperatures are 59 degrees. Winds are out of the south at 10 miles per hour. Our sunrise tomorrow morning will be at 6:22, and our sunset tomorrow afternoon will be at 7:24. Here's our overnight lows for tonight. We are going to see 50 in Glendale, Pasadena. We are going to come in at 51 degrees, and our warm spot is going to be El Monte tonight at 55 degrees. Monrovia, you are going to be our coolest spot along with Glendale at 50 degrees. Our highs for tomorrow, we are going to see, like I said, very cool day again tomorrow, 64 degrees in Arcadia. Pasadena, we are going to warm up to 66 degrees, and down in Monterey Park, 65 degrees. Now here's our 7-day forecast. As I said, we are going to see clouds again tomorrow on Tuesday, but by Tuesday, that low that we see will begin to move out. We are going to see a ridge of high pressure begin to build on Wednesday. By Thursday, that ridge of high pressure is in full effect. Look where we are Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and next Monday. We are back in the 80s. We are below average right now, and then we're going to jump right to above average by midweek, by Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Overnight lows are going to be in the 49 on Tuesday and Wednesday, and by Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we are going to see in the mid-50s. So we are going to see a beautiful weekend, so just hang in there for one more day tomorrow, and we will see that ridge of high pressure begin to build, and we are going to have an absolutely Chamber of Commerce weekend. Sunita, back to you.
Well, you can't ask for more than that, Curtis, so thank you for that report. Well, what changes are in store for Pasadena media? Keri Stockstad joins us next, and we'll have a new Janis Joplin play, Takes a Piece of Your Heart. TK Trinidad finds out. That's coming up next on Crown City News, your neighborhood.
My name's Reggie. Just recently, my wife and I took in her sister's children. Now, we already had 4. So I went from becoming a family man to a man with a bigger family. Now, you can't eat love, so I don't know how I'm gonna feed them tonight. How was that, Rich?
I think I look more like Denzel.
That's cold, man.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
But it would be safe to keep your distance until there are secrets that makes you smile. Reliable sources say that chicken soup has found their way out of this dangerous, but they are returned.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Pasadena Media, formerly Pasadena Community Access Corporation, is moving. They've grown out of their studios and are moving on. Here to tell us more about the changes to come and let residents know about the growing opportunities available, we have Executive Director Keri Stockstad. Thanks for joining us, Keri.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Well, so why is it time to move from this studio space?
Well, we were busting at the seams in this location. It's amazing how many producers have been doing programs for decades at this point. And what we noticed is that having one production studio just wasn't enough. We knew that we needed to expand. So we were looking at locations that would still be on a bus line and easily accessible for most of our current producers, but also maybe encourage people that are in the community who haven't used us before to be able to come in. So we found a really great location at 150 South Los Robles. It's actually about 2 blocks away from the convention center and 3 blocks away from City Hall, so we're really excited about that.
And it's right next door to the Pasadena Hilton as well, right?
Right, it's actually kind of connected to the Hilton. It's actually the same building as Pasadena Water and Power, and I hear there's an ice skating rink nearby, so we might try and cover some hockey matches if we can.
Yeah. Well, that sounds perfect. Now, is this something, as far as the studio space, are you constructing it from scratch?
Yes, we are. It's an empty space right now. On the first floor, we'll have the production facility. The nice thing is the demolition has already been done, so now we just have to worry about putting up the walls and soundproofing. So that should be, less time that it would take than to do the complete demolition from the very beginning. And then the admin offices are actually up on the 4th floor of the facility, so we've already got some of the staff moved over there. And we're looking to find a way to actually do equipment checkout from either the 1st floor or the 4th floor.
Okay, so construction hasn't quite started. The demolition has started, but not the building up process. That's the most important.
Correct. We do need to go through the city process, the city procurement process, to actually move forward with the tenant improvement side of the build out.
Okay, so when do you foresee that the studio would open?
We're hoping within 90 days. We don't anticipate it to be any longer than that. But we want to do it right, and we want to make sure that we've got a facility that the producers can be very proud of.
Well, and construction always takes longer than what you expect.
Well, that's why
from what I found from home remodeling as well.
It's true, and that's why I'm saying 90 days. That way, I'm giving us, I'm being very conservative in terms of the estimates of the build out.
Okay. And as far as just, as far as the transition, because obviously this studio space will be closing next week, correct?
Well, so the idea is that we're going to need to move some of the equipment over to the new facility and get set up in the new facility. So what we decided to do is and we're actually on a month-to-month basis on this lease, so we decided that it would be easier and better for us in terms of the finances and also just in terms of the move to be out of this location by the end of the month. That way we can focus our attention on more field production and help our producers actually get out in the community and do programming. So what we hope and we're encouraging our producers to do is actually go out to the local Pasadena events, which seems to have been very well received with the producers, the idea of actually being out at Earth Day, being out at different events in the community and covering those events. But it does mean that this physical space that we're in right now will be closed. That's correct.
And, there are some producers who are saying, they just didn't feel like they got enough notice. What can you say to those producers as far as, they're planning their schedules and the guests that they're inviting to the space?
That we're going to make every effort to accommodate producers and make sure that every schedule, every shoot that's already been scheduled is accommodated. We're hoping that we can provide staff support for that we can get out into the community. Like I mentioned before, I think this is a great opportunity for us to be out at events and out in the community, recording events and letting our producers get out into the community. Although I do think that it's important that the community, the producers are communicated to, so I think that means that we internally need to take a look at how we're communicating our message out to our producers and making sure that the producers are on our distribution list, that they're watching programs such as this, that they have access to our website where we're posting information. And also, we may need to look into the idea of actually doing printed mailings just to make sure that we're accessing all of the producers that are using the space.
Or even the old phone call.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually have members of the staff that love to be able to get in touch with producers and contact them and just check in. So we'll definitely be utilizing as much as we possibly can in terms of communication.
Okay, and really quickly, is there any, because because some shows aren't going to be able to go shoot in the field. That's not how the production is planned out. Is there any studio space available that's, can accommodate more than 2 people?
Yeah, we're looking at partnerships with different studios that are already in existence around the community. Some of the conversations that we've had are with PCC. They have a brand new, wonderful production studio space that they're just finishing up, so we're hoping to be able to partner with them. K-Learn, the PUSD studios where the access station was first actually located, they are a potential option. So if you want to be able to use a studio, we can do that as well.
Okay. Well, sorry, I know we need to rush off, but there's so much information to ask you, and hope we'll have you back once we're in the new studios.
Love to be back.
Okay, great. Thanks, Keri. Well, did Janis Joplin just rock out at the Pasadena Playhouse? TK Trinidad has a look at the show everyone's raving about. Next on Crown City News, your neighborhood. That wasn't so.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
Did you love her music and wish you could spend just one more night with Janis Joplin? Well, you have that chance for just one more week with the Playhouse, the Pasadena Playhouse, about the music icon and some of the artistic legends that inspired her. CCN's TK Trinidad caught up with the cast and creative forces behind the show to talk about Janis's musical impact.
I'm at the historic Pasadena Playhouse where the play One Night with Janis Joplin has been extended for one more week. The extended run made the hard work worthwhile for director Randy Johnson, since it took him 2.5 years to bring the play about the Queen of Rock and Roll to life.
The Joplin family 2.5 years ago called me and asked me for a meeting with the idea to create a new show about Janis. And we met for around 2.5 hours, and we really liked each other, and I really had a good feeling about the project.
Blues artist Mary Bridget Davies found out she landed the role as the rough and vulnerable Janis Joplin after returning from her tour in Europe.
But the good part about that is the intimacy, because there are so many people that are so connected, and they're just looking right up at you, and it gives you that concert feel over the whole, fourth wall theater thing.
Once I lived the life of a millionaire. The Voice contestant Kim Yarbrough was thrilled with the opportunity to portray iconic women in music history, such as Bessie Smith and Etta James.
I'm so excited because I get to use all my genres in this piece. I get to do my classical background, I get to do my R&B background, which I love. I get to dabble in a little folk, which is Odetta and the great Nina Simone and Bessie Smith. This is like a dream role.
With a live on-stage band and hits such as Piece of My Heart and Summertime, portraying the artist through words and music, One Night with Janis Joplin is a captivating show that will surprise you. Superfan Norma Perez never saw the artist live in concert and was amazed at how the play brought the Queen of Rock and Roll back to life.
It was like the performer was channeling Janis Joplin.
With amazing music, this play feels more like a concert. One Night with Janis Joplin is the highest grossing production for the Pasadena Playhouse. In Pasadena, I'm TK Trinidad, CCN.
Joplin died at age 27 of a drug overdose, but her music lives on. One Night with Janis Joplin runs through Sunday, April 21st. For more information on tickets, please go to PasadenaPlayhouse.org. Well, that's it for this newscast. Please reach out to us with news tips and community news at crowncitynews.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter to keep updated on the latest. For this newscast, thanks to Keri Stockstad for joining us in studio. Thanks to all of our sponsors, including Southern California Edison, Wink Marketing, Dr. Fareed Zarif, and the Pasadena Enterprise Center office building with available space. Thanks also to the CCN crew. They make this show possible. And finally, we thank you for watching CCN Crown City News. Join us each week as we cover the news in Pasadena and the San Gabriel Valley. For all of us here at CCN, I'm Seneda Joshua Madison. Have a great week and go out and vote tomorrow. So I'll be there tomorrow.